Conceived in California, debuted in Seattle, but could a warrior princess be the big hope for Scottish tourism?
It's just a magnificent story. It's going to showcase the country in a marvellous way. It's going to be successful across 5 continents with hundreds of millions of people seeing a wonderful imagery of the country of Scotland.
On this week's programme, we find out why not all Scots are happy about their government investing in the latest Hollywood blockbuster. We travel to New York to discover why there's suddenly life on the waterfront again. If you think your hotel room is clean, we've got news that will make you think again. And
the world's a blossom, from Australia to India to Bhutan. That's all coming up on Insider Guide.
Hello and welcome to Fast Track. I'm Fiona Foster. Now, forget high-end TV campaigns and glossy brochures. The latest way, apparently, to get your country noticed by potential holidaymakers is to get it featured in a big-budget film. Scotland, for instance, has just invested millions of dollars in a new Disney animation called Brave, about a cartoon warrior princess. But some people there are concerned that it's not sending out quite the right message. Anna Holligan has been to the Scottish capital, Edinburgh, to find out more.
They call this the home of the brave. More than 16 million tourists visit Scotland every year. The industry generates more than $20 billion annually. It is this small nation's biggest single source of income. But the economic crisis has travelled north. While the Scottish Government was aiming to double tourism in a decade, right now they're way off that target.
I am Merida.
Merida is the warrior princess who some hope has the power to rescue this proud and patriotic nation, or at least show the tourists what they're missing.
It's just a magnificent story. It's going to showcase the country in a marvellous way. It's going to be successful across 5 continents with hundreds of millions of people seeing a wonderful imagery of the country of Scotland.
Tourists have traditionally come here in search of the country's much celebrated cultural clichés: kilts, bagpipes, and of course, haggis.
You can find a good place of haggis, neeps and tassies almost anywhere in Edinburgh. The Scots take real pride in their cooking, with good reason. And tourists who are always keen to indulge in a bit of cultural cuisine, washed down with a wee dram of whiskey.
But with the economic belt-tightening brought on by austerity, the industry needs new attractions to convince the tourists the Scottish experience is still worth investing in.
No one knows how we came to this land.
For the tourism industry, this film provides a unique way of capturing the imagination in a way no other medium can.
Film, because of its ability to evoke both sight and sound in a very concrete manner, you know, with different shot sizes, with landscapes that are unreal mixed with landscapes that are real. You've got the ability to reach people in a much more direct way, potentially a much more powerful way, and a much more complete way than could be imagined.
But is a cartoon warrior princess really worthy or capable of grabbing that baton and carrying the country on to international cultural glory? Not all Scots' imagination can stretch quite that far.
It's the thing about Scotland, you get these tiny wee midges, right?
This new crowdsourced documentary film seeks to show a more accurate version of Scottish life. Aspiring filmmakers are being encouraged to share snapshots of their lives, and the director believes the Scottish reality looks very different to the Disney fantasy.
There is no way that Brave even attempts, I think, to offer an accurate depiction of Scotland in 2012. I mean, Brave, first and foremost, I think is all about entertainment. It's not about reality. It just is going to have an interesting intersection with the reality of Scotland in 2012.
Feast your eyes! We often get fed up of these very stereotypical images of Scots dancing about in kilts and so on, and we've had it for a long time. But what underpins that in this film is there's a very strong folklore tradition in Scotland of international tales of Celtic warriors and so on. People did tell these kinds of tales, a bit of escapism around the campfire and so on, going way back. So I think there's a good deal of truth in many ways to Brave.
Show a little decorum!
Brave represents a new style of intergovernmental collaboration. It's the first time Disney has joined forces and resources with a national tourism organisation on such a massive scale.
Once people have become more interested in Scotland, having seen the movie, more excited in Scotland, its landscapes, and also, of course, its people, because it's a very fun movie about people, then it's our job to use various tools to attract people to come and convert that interest into a visit to Scotland to see for themselves Scotland in the raw state.
And it could be the start of something even bigger. If Brave attracts a big enough audience, Disney is considering building a Scottish theme park like those in Paris and Florida. All this in a country currently debating its political future.
Here at the Scottish Parliament, they're busy preparing for a highly anticipated vote on independence. But that costs money, and the financial crisis has left a trail of economic unrest in its wake.
Which is why the potential cash generated by Brave is so important, now more than ever.
We're investing some £7 million. We think we'll get about a 20-fold return in that investment in terms of the promotion of our country. I think people who see Brave will think well of Scotland, they want to come and visit Scotland. I think it's going to be huge, big business for Scotland.
So maybe it matters less what brings the tourists to Scotland, more importantly, that they actually make it this far.
Anna Holligan reporting from Edinburgh. So, what do you think? Has seeing a film ever prompted you to pack your bags and jump on a plane? Do let us know. fasttrack@bbc.com. And that's the address some of you used after our recent special from Ukraine.
Fittings on these trains look like they haven't been changed in 40 years. The bed linen, however, is presented in a packet, fresh and clean. But one word of warning, pray that you don't need to go to the toilet for the whole 12-hour journey.
Not all of you were happy with our coverage. Fred Finn from Komsomolsk in Ukraine said,
I have watched a completely biased report on Fast Track about the poor quality of the Ukrainian trains. I have traveled several times between UK and Kiev and through many different parts of Ukraine. Basically, it looks as if you brought the cheapest ticket, probably around $12 for 12 hours you were on the train. And my friend, you get the same here as anywhere else. You get what you paid for. A similar distance in the UK could cost $300, and I have seen people sitting all over the floors and gangways.
Thanks, Fred. Yes, we did indeed explore what we thought was the most interesting part of the train. If you remember, we pointed out that for some, it's a very romantic experience, with new friendships blossoming thanks to the very sociable nature of third class. Pascal, also from Ukraine, thought we took the wrong route, though.
Sevastopol to Donetsk by train is a piece of cake. I wish you'd have tried a more interesting route like Uzhgorod to Kiev or Kiev to Nikolaev. In other words, from cities which aren't part of the Euro 2012 hype or highly touristic places. That's real fun.
Maybe next time, Pascal. And thanks to everybody for writing in. Do keep them coming. Now, here are the rest of this week's top travel stories. Work's begun to lift the wreck of the Costa Concordia, the cruise ship that sank off the coast of Italy in January. It's slow progress. In the coming weeks, there are plans to remove the central funnel and swimming pool. The entire operation will take about a year, and it's thought to be the biggest salvage operation ever undertaken at sea. We're all getting fatter, thinks Airbus, so it's made wider seats as a result. They're 20 inches rather than the usual 18, to accommodate what the European plane maker calls changing body types. 20 airlines have expressed an interest so far, and they may well be coming to a cabin near you in the next 18 months. And crack open the antibacterial hand gel. The hotel room you've just booked is probably filthy. The University of Houston's been out swabbing rooms and found fecal bacteria on 81% of the surfaces it tested. TV remote controls and bedside lamps were the worst. Let's end on a high though. Bathroom door handles and curtain rods were declared spotless. That's it for now, but do stay with us because coming up after the break, Michelle's here as the Northern Hemisphere's summer brings festivals and flowers. Plus, could it be a contender? We hear the big plans for New York's waterfront.